The Jesus Trilogy, Book 2, Then There Were Two, Chapter 42. Nathaniel had spent a wonderful night with Sing Song. It was more than out of this world. He couldn't believe how wonderful, how sensual, how sweet she was. She was so sensitive to his every want and need. He thought to himself as the merriment was coming to an end that this must be what love is like. Wonder if it really is love, or do I just like her? The acid test might apply tonight. Would I be willing to die for her? Tonight I might, but I don't know about tomorrow. Could I give my life for her tonight, tomorrow, always? I guess that's what commitment is all about. I just don't know if I could do it. I'll see how I feel tomorrow, but love is more than feeling. It is a permanent commitment for all time, even in the next life. What if I die, go to heaven, and the angels are more beautiful than Sing Song? What then? No, I don't think I'm ready to love her that much. I just don't think yet. But what would I do without her? I have no idea. I don't want to lose her yet. I'm just not ready to fully commit to her. It was this kind of thinking that his father told him was very dangerous. Very dangerous. Make a decision. Act on it. His father had always said that his father had made that decision and it cost him his life at the Capernaum massacre. Maybe there was some sense in being cautious at times. It was with this quandary circling through the deep synapses of his brain that he was now loading his camels for the trek west to Damascus. In fact, this trip he would go the full distance to Jerusalem. For this reason, he had purchased a fourth camel from Tashkent at the camel stable. The dealer had said it was a strong pack camel, a little stubborn at times, but very strong. Nathaniel was taking a lot of extra goods to make sure he had enough to pay for the trip to Jerusalem. It was 2,000 miles from Tashkent to Damascus and another 300 to Jerusalem, the city of kings. He wasn't sure why it was called by that name. The king, Caesar, was now in Rome. He had heard of a Messiah who was to take over the city of kings and eventually the entire world, but he discounted the rumor. The seller had said the new camel's name was Joe. Nathaniel thought it a strange name for a beast of burden. Maybe it was originally Josiah and they had just shortened it to Joe. But the seller said no, the camel's name was Joe. Well, Joe Camel, Nathaniel said, are you up to this long haul? I'm putting a lot of weight on you. Do you think you can handle it? To Nathaniel's surprise, the camel nodded his head in the affirmative. Well, Joe, I hope you are, because it's a long, hard ride. This time the camel did not gesture back. Nathaniel shook his head vigorously. I must be going crazy. First I fall in love, then I talk to camels. Sam Ling's voice awoke him out of a daydream. Hey, Nathaniel, I got one more bag here. It's from one of my Chinese friends. Who's that, old pal? Sen Lee. Don't know him. He's a cousin. What's in it? Nathaniel's strong hands grabbed the sack. It was heavy. He was about to drop it to the ground, but Sen Lee yelled out, No, no, very fragile, fragile, very fragile. It's vases. What are vases? You know, pottery to put plants in. Oh, Nathaniel said, still holding the heavy sack. Must be very careful, Sen said. I'll help you put on camel. Sam, these won't sell. People want strong pottery. This stuff will be in little pieces before I reach Baghdad. No, sell well. I pack very good. I do personally. Sam, no one will buy this junk. That not junk, very special, work of very famous Chinese artists. Sammy, I'm telling you it won't sell. Sen piped up again. Take it to King, he buy. No can do. Take to King, I guarantee he buy. Nathaniel raised his hand. Okay, okay, help me get it on this Joe Camel guy here. Joe Camel, very funny. Sam laughed. Joe Camel, he repeated. He patted the camel on the rump and Joe whinnied, then with his back foot kicked the Chinaman right in the chin. Sen roared with laughter. May you burn forever in Chinese cauldrons, Sam said. There was no smile on his face. He rubbed his chin vigorously. Be careful, Nathaniel said. The seller that sold him to me said Joe here had a mind of his own. Maybe he was right. I don't think it is broke, but it sure does hurt, Sam said, continuing to rub his chin, now swelling and turning purple before their very eyes. Gotta be careful, Sammy. These are sensitive beasts. Say, Nathaniel, you like my daughter's song? Of course. You love her? I don't know, Sammy. I'm not sure what love is. Well, if you do, I just would like to say I'd be proud to have you as my son-in-law. Well, thank you, Sammy. I'm sure when the time is right, I would be honored to have you as my father-in-law. A big smile came to Nathaniel's sun-dried face as he cinched the last pack on the saddle of Joe Camel and turned to hook up his team. The 3 pack camels in another he would ride. He would ride a different camel each day during the 2-week trip. It would be another week later that he would arrive in Jerusalem. He waved to Sam Lane, still rubbing his now black chin as he eased the string of 4 camels into the busy thoroughfare called Miracle Mile. Across the street, a man in dark robes nodded at a man standing near Sam Lane's shop. The man near Sammy eased onto his own camel and merged into the crowded street. He kept his distance from Nathaniel's 4-camel caravan, but followed him through the bustling streets just the same. When Nathaniel arrived at the city gate, the man tracking him stopped a block back to observe. The checkpoint guard performed his cursory examination of Nathaniel's packs. What's in this one? The guard said, pointing to the pack with the vases in it. It caught his eye because it had Chinese writing on it and the words fragile written on it. Vases, Nathaniel answered. Let's see, the guard said. Be careful. They are fragile. You got papers for this pack? Right here, officer. Nathaniel handed him the manifest. As the guard reached into the pack, they both heard the sickening crunch of shattering ceramic pottery. Whoops, the guard said, removing his hand, a gash oozing fresh blood from his little finger. Hey, pal, you'll have to pay for that. Those are valuable vases, Nathaniel said a little too loudly. So's my finger, he said. Then he began sucking the blood from his finger. Just make a report. The Tashkent police will remember you. Right. What's the value? The guard asked. His finger was beginning to throb. I don't know, maybe 10 shekels. Make a report. I will. Nathaniel knew in spite of his report he'd never see a red farthing of the money. He never had before. He knew this time would be no different. The Tashkent police force had no scruples, and due to all the corruption, very little money in reserve. Nathaniel's caravan headed out to the west into the already hot morning sun. His mind was full of thoughts of love and wandered off into daydream land. The dark-robed camel driver who was following him worked his way through the checkpoint and headed out after Nathaniel. Once in the desert, a camel driver would join with others to make a long line of camels. These drivers would then combine to make a large caravan. It was done not only for companionship on the long journey, but also for safety. Raiders and bandits were common along even the main route, but they would seldom attack a large group. The dark-robed man got in line about 5 riders and about 20 camels behind Nathaniel. Their positions would stay this way until they hit the first oasis about 4 in the afternoon. Some 10 camels back from the dark-robed driver rode another man in a dark robe. He had 2 camels, but his robe was longer and easily covered the black armband on his upper left arm, in which were embroidered in red the words S.L.